Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Brittany, your friendly plant-loving internet stranger, back with another video. Today I wanted to do a check-in with the community to see how you all are doing. I know there is a lot going on in the world, and I just wanted to take a moment to do something that brings me a little bit of joy while just chatting and catching up. Today I wanted to arrange some flowers for the week. One of the things that has been bringing me a lot of joy lately has been buying myself flowers, arranging flowers, and just having flowers around my home. Obviously, you all know I keep a lot of greenery and plants and things in the home, but there is something about seeing blooms of various colors on a daily basis that really brightens my day and lifts my spirits. So I wanted to arrange my flowers for the week, and I thought this would just be a really good time to catch up. I got this bouquet from Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's has really great flowers. If you have a Trader Joe's in your area and you like fresh cut flowers, I definitely recommend checking out Trader Joe's. Usually they have a wide variety of flowers and they're pretty inexpensive. I got this bouquet for $9.99, and this is pretty much already arranged. Honestly, I purposely got one of these. I don't always get a bouquet that's already arranged like this one, but I didn't want to buy a bunch of individual bouquets this time to arrange my own, and I wanted to just be able to pick from this bouquet. I also wanted some really bright pink flowers, and they didn't have a ton at my local Trader Joe's this last time I went. So I was really feeling these daisies. They are hot pink, so I'm gonna see how I'll arrange these, if I'll leave the bouquet as is or if I'll separate them out. This is a bouquet that is on her last leg. Can somebody tell me what this is? Is this a dahlia? I don't know. I don't know if it's dahlia season or is it just like a mum. I'm not sure if I will be able to salvage any of these flowers. I rearranged them earlier this week and freshened up the water, but as you can see, like, there are some carnations on the side here, and they're starting to get a bit droopy, and even the big flower that I just mentioned is starting to wilt a little bit at the back. So we'll see if that one can be freshened up, and if not, I'll just add them to the compost. I also got baby's breath to serve as a filler. And I actually like to put baby's breath in bud vases as well and just kind of set them around the house. But yeah, these are just a nice addition to a bouquet and nice on their own too. So the smell of the baby's breath is not too bad today, but when I first picked these up, it was really overwhelming, and I didn't notice it when I was at the store. It wasn't until I was like on the way home and I was like, what is that smell? And once I got home and unpacked all of my bags, I realized it was the baby's breath, and which is funny because it's called baby's breath and it was kind of stank, but it's fine. It smells like flowers. I think it was just, I don't know, they were like very fresh or something, and it was just like kind of an overwhelming scent, but it's not too bad right now. The vase options I have for this particular arrangement is this one here. It's just a really simple, clear vase. It's got kind of a iridescence to it. I got this one from Amazon, and then I got this one from Target recently, and it's humongous. It might be a nice, like, more compact fit if I put it in this one and look a little bit better. And depending on the colors of the flowers, I will sometimes just put them in my colored vase. This is one of my favorites. I typically wait until after I have arranged the flowers in the vase before I add water. It just kind of helps me see how I like things and not have to like get the table all wet because I'm like moving stems back and forth. Let's get into it. And the Trader Joe's bouquets also usually come with plant food, and I do add this. I don't really know if it makes a difference, but they give it to me, so I usually add it to the plants or to the flowers. So I'm just removing the plastic from the flowers right now. I also have some tea brewing, so it's a nice little vibe in here this morning. This is such a pretty bouquet. It's got roses, daisies, I think I see a couple of lilies in there, and some mums and carnations. Great. So this should be a really pretty arrangement. Oh, there's already some baby's breath in there too. I didn't even notice that before. So how's everybody doing? There's a lot going on in the world. A lot going on. A lot of craziness in politics, a lot of craziness and like global affairs, a lot of craziness and pop culture. Let's not even start with that. It just feels like the energy is so heavy right now and it can be really exhausting. And you know, this channel is like been about my plant journey. I'm trying to cut this rubber band with these pruning shears and this is not what it's for, and they already kind of dull, so it's just not working. Let me just take it off. So yeah, it's just been kind of a lot of darkness, it feels like, in the atmosphere, and I don't know if other people are feeling it. I don't know if other people feel like a sense of overwhelm or just exhaustion, like general exhaustion. I'm exhausted. I feel exhausted. You know, I live a pretty regular life and have a job and, you know, do the things that adults do, but it's still like this sense of heaviness in the air to me, especially as we're approaching the end of the year. Where did September go? Like, I don't understand how September came and went without me even realizing she was here. She is just gone until next year. And I'm like, how are we in October? How is it spooky season already? But here we are. And, you know, just trying to figure out how to cope and how to deal and how to maintain a regular life while it feels like the world is burning around us. And I feel like that's been a lot of our reality, but it's also really alarming to just kind of sit back and watch all of the craziness that's happening in the world. I want to know if other people are feeling that sense of heaviness too, and that sense of exhaustion. There's still like this looming dark cloud of just uncertainty in the world that can be a little daunting. So I've been really trying to prioritize my mental health. And this is not something that's new, honestly. This is something that I've been doing, but I'm very serious about it now. And, you know, it is not something that I'm willing to skimp on because of how crazy things are in the world. And just knowing that like other people might also be feeling the same level of exhaustion. And so to cope with that, one thing that I have been doing is to make sure that I'm prioritizing the small things in my life that bring me joy, so that when I have those moments of frustration, I'm not completely consumed by it. And I am definitely the type of person that can be triggered easily. And I'm self-aware enough to know what those triggers are, to know who those triggers are, because sometimes they people. I have to figure out how to balance it, you know, how to make sure that I'm not driving myself crazy. It really goes back to my self-care practices. And I'm saying this because I think it's really important for everyone to prioritize their self-care, and understanding that self-care is going to look different for different people, but it's a very necessary part of living, especially in 2024 with everything that's going on. And I want to see more people prioritize their mental health. And for me, it goes back to the airplane guidance of putting your oxygen mask on first before you help other people. And I'll admit, there are many times when I'm not even following that advice or my own advice of like prioritizing my self-care because I'm not taking care of myself properly. I'll just jump right into a task or jump right into like work or running errands or something on an empty stomach without having anything in my system, no water, no nothing. And then I'm wondering why I feel like garbage. And it's like, you haven't eaten anything, you haven't nourished your body. In addition to doing the basic things like making sure I'm staying nourished and hydrated and making sure I'm taking care of like, you know, my basic needs, I started a practice where these types of activities bring me so much joy. And I think it's a grounding activity because it's like involving plants, and you know, plants and flowers are of the earth, so it definitely shifts the energy for me at least. But it is a nice way to just like beautify my home. And when I see these flowers, they make me smile. I've had some bouquets of flowers. I have picked up roses at the farmer's market and they smell so good and they're so beautiful and they make me happy when I look at them. And to me, it's worth the money. To me, it's worth the $9.99 to pick myself up a bouquet. This bouquet that is like on its last leg right now, I got this one from Whole Foods a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, a couple of weeks ago. And I ride my flower bouquets to the wheels fall off. As you can see, these carnations with their broken necks over here. This bouquet is called the Happiness Bouquet. If you have a Whole Foods in your area, if you shop at Whole Foods, it's probably one of the cheapest things you're gonna find in the store, if I'm being honest with you. This color scheme was like, as you can see, purple and lavender. And I'm not normally one to like go for purple things. It's not a color that I usually reach for, but it was really, really pretty, so I had to pick it up. The bouquet was pretty big, a nice size for $5.99, and already arranged, and it's called the Happiness Bouquet. And I've seen this at 2 different Whole Foods. The first Happiness Bouquet I picked up was yellow, and that one brought me a lot of joy. You know, the color yellow is really good for happiness and joy. So if you're feeling low, you know, get some yellow flowers, or get yourself some flowers. It doesn't matter what color they are, but as long as they lift your spirits and they make you happy when you look at them. But that yellow bouquet, I swear I had it for almost a month. I just got rid of it last week because it was like really starting to stink. You know, when flowers get old, even if you switch the water out, the bottoms of the stems start to get all like mushy. I will keep my flowers as long as the blooms still look pretty fresh, as long as the petals are not falling off, as long as they don't smell bad. Back to this Happiness Bouquet. I love the name of it because it tells you exactly what it's gonna do. For me, it brought me happiness every time I look at those flowers. These purple ones down here and the yellow bouquet I had a few weeks ago, they just made me so happy. I'm prioritizing buying myself flowers and adorning my home with flowers, and I have a bunch of different vases. You know, I have shared on this channel how I repurpose like glass jars and bottles, like really pretty glass jars and bottles. This doesn't have to be something like really expensive or really fancy. It just has to be something that brings joy. And so this has been something that brings me so much joy. And just looking at how this is coming together now, like I'll probably cut these down, although this looks pretty with them being like kind of tall, so maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just cut them down a little bit. But it makes me so happy. It makes me happy arranging these flowers and just having a little creative outlet. Purposely making time to do an activity that brings me joy is something that my inner child really needs. So I would really like to know, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing to bring yourself joy on a regular basis? What are you doing to like bring happiness to your inner child, if anything? And if nothing, what is something that is accessible to you? What is something that you can do? If buying yourself a bouquet of flowers is not something that's accessible to you, what can you do to bring yourself joy on a daily basis? Can you take a walk? Can you make yourself a nice cup of tea in the morning and like, I don't know, sit by the window and listen to the birds chirp, watch the sunrise or watch the sunset? What do you do to bring yourself joy in a chaotic world? Feeding my inner child with activities that encourage play has really been bringing me a lot of joy lately. Maybe this is just like, you know, capitalism or whatever, but we're not having enough fun. We're not having enough fun, and as dark of a place as the world is sometimes, y'all, we need to be enjoying ourselves. We need to be doing whatever we can in our daily lives to find some glimmer of peace and hope and enjoyment, because this is the only life that you get to live as you. And it's, I don't know, this whole working until we're in our 60s and 70s because we have to, it just ain't, the math ain't mathin'. Like, why are we living like this, you know? And I think I'm in this new era of life where I'm just like, no, I don't feel like I have to slave away my entire life for somebody else's goals, for somebody else's company, to like enjoy my life. Like, what can I do to add more enjoyment, to add more play, to decrease my stress in a stressful world? And today it is arranging these flowers, y'all. And look how pretty they look. I will definitely add some clips of these beautiful flowers so you can see their true color. I'm really feeling them being taller in the vase, but I'm gonna bring a little bit more order, and I'm gonna add the baby's breath, and then I'll see what it's looking like after that. but I'm loving this pink, you know, like it's the bright colors for me. Normally I try to go with the season, and I've been seeing a lot of burnt oranges and deep reds, a lot of fall colors. I'm not ready for that yet. I know it's October, I know it's spooky season and everything, but I'm still kind of in my summer bag. I need September to show her face and let me know where she went, because I don't understand how we're already in October. I love October. Don't get it twisted. I love October. It's a fun month. It's spooky season. But October, I'm not ready for you yet. Nobody asked you to come over here so soon. It was literally just September a few days ago, and I was not. How did that happen so fast? How's time going by so fast? But you know, time going by fast is a reminder that life don't last forever. So what are we doing? What are you doing to bring yourself some joy in this world where there's so much mess going to happen? Like, I feel like that's one thing that you can bet on, is some mess happening at some point in the world. But how can you balance that, you know, with whatever brings you joy, and being playful when you can, and understanding that play is something that most adults are not gifting themselves with. Why are y'all neglecting yourself? That's my question. Write a comment. Why are you neglecting yourself? Why are you not allowing yourself to play? And what do I mean by play? I mean finding that thing that brings you enjoyment. I'm talking about something that truly brings you joy. I'm talking about having a hobby. I'm talking about taking a walk, or calling a loved one and having a conversation, or FaceTiming with your homegirl until your stomach hurts because y'all are laughing so hard because you're catching up. You know, like, what are you doing to bring yourself joy on a regular basis? And I'm starting to feel a little, I don't mean to sound hostile as I'm saying it, but I just want more people to prioritize their mental health and not see it as some big thing that is unattainable, because that's not true. Prioritizing your mental health can look like a lot of different things. It can look like actually seeking out therapy, talk therapy with the licensed mental health professional. It can look like talking to a loved one. It could look like journaling. It could look like a lot of different things, but like, what are you doing? Because all of us, everybody, if you are a breathing, living person and you are alive right now and you survived that thing that we all went through in 2020, you know what it is. You know what I'm talking about. What are you doing to bring yourself joy right now? I'm just curious. Anything? Let me know in the comments. This is something I'm very, very passionate about. If you can't tell, y'all, I'm really passionate about this. I am awakening the inner child within me. Little Brittany is waking up, okay? And she is ready to play, and she is ready to prioritize her joy and happiness. And I don't care what nobody has to say about it. I want to share more on this channel about what I've been doing. I don't know, I just feel like that's one of the things that I was put on this earth to do, is to encourage people to take care of themselves. Yeah, take care of yourself. Go to the doctor, go to the dentist, seek medical attention if you need it. You know, if you need it and you need to take care of yourself in that way, just for your health. But beyond that, beyond the physical health, how you feel is so important. This is a random conversation between friends at this point, so excuse the shift in topics, but this is how I engage with the people in my real life. I don't think they teach us how to truly take care of ourselves in school. So then we all grow up, and then we're these adults that don't really know how to function, and then we think we do, and then something big happens, like some major life-changing thing happens, and that thing throws everything off because you weren't expecting for it to happen. So how do you counter that? And how do you have a personal wellness practice in your toolkit? Like, what's in your toolkit? That's what I'm trying to get to the root of. What is in your toolkit when S hits the F, when it hit the fan? Like, what are you doing? How do you cope? And if you don't have an answer to that, if you don't have anything that you can run to, think about that. Like, what are the small things that you can do on a daily or weekly basis to make yourself happy, to pick yourself up? And arranging these flowers right now is making me so happy. It's bringing me so much joy. I get to share it with you. Something else that's been bringing me a lot of joy and that is accessible has been drinking. Let me put this baby's breath down. Has been drinking tea. It has been brewing various teas, but it's just been the act of brewing tea has been so fulfilling to me lately. And I know that seems like such a simple thing. Matcha. I love matcha, right? Summer, when the farmer's market was selling peaches, and I would get my peaches and my blackberries. And so I was like, what can I do with all these delicious, beautiful peaches? I could just eat them on their own, but I was like, I'm gonna make a white peach matcha. I was making these iced matchas, and I was blending up the peaches, like the fresh peaches from the farmer's market, and making like a peach puree from scratch, pouring it in with my matcha. And if you make matcha, if you've ever seen matcha prepared, it's like very ritualistic. You get a bowl and you take the matcha and you have to like strain it, and then you whisk it and with the liquid, and it has to look a certain way, and then there's steps to it if you're doing it right, you know. And just the act of preparing a cup of tea in a ceremonial way, I love it. It makes me happy, you know. But I'm also the type of person that enjoys small things like fancy coffee mugs. This one says Love Detroit. I'm from Detroit, if you didn't know, if you couldn't tell about all the Lions paraphernalia and stuff that I wear. It's a small thing that I can do for myself on a daily basis that brings me joy. Making my matchas, you know, making my herbal teas, anything that like has steps to it, and at the end I get something that is gonna like be nourishing to me, I find so rewarding. I'm using this stuff as an example of something small that has brought me a lot of joy, and something small that has sparked the desire for play within me. I love it. Okay, this is looking decent. It's not looking too bad. I'm wondering if I should put more baby's breath in it since I have so much. It's giving bridal right now with all the baby's breath though. I don't know how I feel about that, but that's fine. You love a good bride over here. But I want to hear from you. I want to hear, like, what do you think about finding time for yourself? Has this been something that has been easy for you, especially in 2024? I know in 2020, a lot of us probably had way more time for ourselves because we were forced to have time for ourselves, probably for the first time ever in life. And I never want to experience anything like that again, don't get it twisted. But I think as terrible as that time was, it shifted society in our culture, and it made a lot of us realize that we don't need to be in the office to get our work done. I know that was my biggest takeaway, right? Outside of the health and, you know, needing to maintain like a healthy body and stuff like that. Time is such a luxury, and depending on what your situation is in life, not everybody has the same level of like time and freedom in just understanding your personal life. I just want folks to be able to have those things that they can turn to as stress relievers, as ways to decompress after a stressful day. I'm trying to equip you with things to do that you can enjoy. Help each other out. Please leave a comment and let me know what is something. It could be a big thing that you do to bring joy into your life, to encourage a spirit of play, or what's a small thing you do. Whatever brings you joy, I want to know what it is. So let's add to the comments, like add the things that bring you joy. And if you're one of those people and you're like, I'm realizing now that Brittany's talking to me about this, that I don't actually do anything in my life to bring me joy, look at the other comments and find something that you can do, that you can adopt from someone else, and try it. Like I said, y'all, I've given you a couple of options. Buy yourself some flowers. Now, you don't have to arrange them yourself. If that makes you happy, if that brings you joy, if that's accessible to you, share it with the community here. And again, if you don't have something that you feel brings you joy, look at what other people are writing in the comments and maybe adopt one of those things. And if you decide to do that, come back and let me know how it went. I think this is where I'm gonna leave this. I'm not liking how floppy my daisy is looking. I love the daisies when they give you these little like neck braces for them, because the daisies have the big heads with the little necks, and they weigh themselves down and they have the potential to break. So these had neck braces, but they're still a little floppy, but they're okay. And this is my flower arrangement. I think that's all I have for this video. I really enjoyed this chat we had. I appreciate you stopping by. Leave me the comments, y'all. I'm not playing around. I think we all need to be prioritizing our mental health and be adding more things that bring us joy when we can. Let me know how you're doing. I hope all is well. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.